What's up, people? It's James off the cuff, and today I want to talk about breakups. Breakups are so difficult. Lord knows I've been through a handful of them in my time, but why do they hurt so much? Even when you think in a relationship, when it's got to the point where you've gone over the person, they still hurt so much. I think the main reason for that is because you've opened yourself so much to someone, they've opened themselves so much to you. You've taken them into your world, they've taken you into their world, and knowing that that now has to come to an end, especially when you're the person who has to break up with the person because you know this person is not right for you. Excuse my attire today, I've just come from the gym. I'm trying to get these videos in when I can get them in. But back to breakups. And it really does feel like you're grieving someone. It feels like you know this person is no longer going to be in your life or going to play a main role in your life. I say role because I believe all of us, our lives should be our business. And we hire, we fire, we expand when we need to expand, and then we scale back when we need to scale back. And losing that person who once meant so much to you, it hurts like hell. So what I would say is focus on things that make you happy. Do things that you enjoy doing when you first broken up with someone, even if those things involve things that you did while she was with them. Try now creating your own tradition and doing those things without that person. It would really help. And just activities in general keeps your mind off it. I would also say, if you can, avoid texting them, avoid calling them, avoid checking on their social media to see how they're doing in life. I know some people who broke up with their exes and are still checking on them 5 years down the line. That's not healthy. And you're not really allowing new energy to come into your life by doing that, because you're still fixated on the past. As difficult as it may be, you may wish that person well, but even if it's just for the initial couple of months, try to not be still looking into what's going on in their life. I would also say reflect on why it ended. Reflect on why you found out, or why they found out, or mutually found out that you were no longer compatible. I don't think because you broke up with someone that means that that relationship was a failure. It just means that you got together, you got to know each other, you shared experiences, hopefully good ones, and in the end you realized there was no future, essentially, which is what's happened to me probably about twice now. And I go through these things kind of privately. I'll probably only really tell one or two people, or my very close friends, but it is annoying. It's very annoying, because you naturally will start to rub off on that person will naturally start to rub off on you. And there's a part of that person that is still with you after you initially break up. And whether you like it or not, there's parts of you, traits and habits of you that's still with that person. So it is essentially grieving someone, and you just have to stay positive. What I would say also is acknowledge how you're feeling and sink into it initially. So if that involves watching films that make you cry, if it involves listening to songs that make you feel low and really acknowledge how you're feeling around that moment, I think those things are really healthy, because you're not trying to shortcut over the emotions. You're going through it and you're acknowledging it head on. So I would say that's something that's really helpful. And then when you're ready to be like, well, I'm done, what's next? Let's see what these streets have to offer. Then you can go back to, being your regular self, listening to regular music that you normally listen to, watching shows that make you laugh. About 7 years ago, I went through a really painful breakup, and I wasn't even with the person for that long, but it's because it was so intense and I felt as though I was really trying to make it work despite all of the really fucked up things that were going on. And this person needed more support than myself. They needed therapy. And when it got to the point where I realized I can't save this person, that just killed me, because it kind of felt like I was letting them down. And I also thought, who's gonna really try and help them? And then I spoke to someone and they told me, James, someone like that will always find their way on their feet. So you don't worry about them. Focus on yourself at this moment and what makes you happy. Because right now, your peace is being distracted. And I remember at the time that I think the only show that was able to make me laugh was Friends. And it's crazy because it's a show I watched when I was growing up, but I didn't necessarily find it that funny growing up. I think I just watched it for entertainment value, but it really helped me laugh again. And something as simple as laughing, it may sound really silly, but being able to laugh when you're going through something quite painful, it helps raise your spirits. Most definitely, it helps raise your spirits. So watching things that make you laugh to get yourself out of that funk mood really, really helps. I would also say be careful with who you surround yourself with during that time. There might be people that make you feel crap about your decision, about ending it. There may be people who want to put their 2 cents into the situation and be like, oh yeah, they would never write for you anyway. None of that is going to make you feel good. So be careful with who you're around, because their opinions sometimes, whether knowingly or unknowingly, it's going to piss you off. Depending on who that person is. If you became so close to that person and your family and friends are now intertwined, that's really difficult. That's really difficult. In that situation, I would say remain yourself. Don't come out of character. People naturally choose sides. Just know that hopefully your intentions were pure from beginning to end, and whatever judgments people want to have, that's nothing to do with you. I'm a big believer on not blocking people unless they've really, really crossed the line. But I don't like to block people. Maybe restrict some things that they can see in my life, whether it be on social media, but I don't like to block people. I'll leave that up to you. And then going forwards, think about what you could do differently. Think about if maybe you can choose someone completely different to what you've always chosen. Some people have a type. Maybe go against the grain and try something new. You'll be surprised. And also be really real with yourself and think, not real, take accountability about what part you played as to why that relationship broke down. Because there's a lot of learnings that can be taken from the end of a relationship on both parties. So think about that and think about what you're going to do differently. Fingers crossed, if you have enough energy to ever step into another relationship again, because sometimes when people go through such painful heartbreak, they feel like they don't want to be in a relationship ever again. They feel like, and I've heard this from people that I actually know, they think, this isn't for me anymore. I might meet people, I might spend some time with them, and then we'll go our separate ways. I don't want to be in a relationship anymore. I like to come from the perspective of being a hopeless romantic. I know it sounds really cheesy, but I like the idea of romance and finding someone that you can essentially share and build with for the rest of your life. So try to not let that hinder how you feel going into that next relationship. Trust yourself, trust your intuition, trust your decisions, part of being confident, and everything always works out in the end anyway. And give it time, be patient with yourself. You may not feel like yourself in the next month, in the next 2 months. Sometimes it might take a year to get over someone. Just pace yourself and be good to yourself during this journey. If you've enjoyed listening and watching any of this, feel free to subscribe. I'm here every Monday talking about regular things that we all go through. Hopefully I can share some tips and guidance on how to navigate through these things. Take care, speak soon.